Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about right now is UBI, okay? Universal Basic Income. And I want you to strap in because the Reagan zinger hits differently when it's hitting your actual wallet, okay? I'm from the government and I'm here to help. You just got a $500 monthly upgrade courtesy of Cook County's latest plot twist on the American dream. Take a listen.
One of the country's largest counties now securing a universal basic income program where low-income households are guaranteed monthly payments. Fox Business's Kelly Saberi is live from Chicago, where this program is unfolding after a lot of public discourse over this decision. Kelly.
Good morning, Cheryl. This is what we know so far. $7.5 million will go towards this program, but who qualifies, how much the payments will be, and what recipients can spend this money on are still up in the air. The group Economic Security Illinois says almost all of the participants use these payments of Cook County's 2022 pilot program for their basic necessities. Cook County once had the nation's largest such program, using money from the American Rescue Plan Act. For 2 years, monthly payments of $500 were given to 3,250 households, no strings attached. 56% of those in the program were employed with an average income of $21,000. Now, 94% of recipients said the money went to emergency expenses, while an Illinois think tank says that they don't believe this expense, or excuse me, that this money for these people is not worth the expense to Illinois taxpayers. Listen to this.
There are over 700,000 individuals in Cook County who are below the federal poverty line. If you extended it to every individual at current program rates, that would cost over $4 billion.
We're told the county's Bureau of Economic Development will have some of the answers to our questions by mid to late 2026. Cheryl, back to you.
Kelly Saberi, thank you so much. A lot to unpack there from this. And, to be clear, what they're talking about here is with this guaranteed basic income is there's no requirement. Which is different from universal income, which goes to everybody. But we've seen this in Los Angeles, Chicago, where we just came from, Denver, San Francisco, Houston. Many critics say this is nothing more than an extension of welfare benefits, and that you disenfranchise people from going out and seeking meaningful employment. It's a handout, not a hand up.
Exactly. And this is exactly the progressive strategy is they'll put something out there that makes you dependent on the government, and then they'll go back and say, well, why would you possibly oppose giving poor people money, right? Mm-hmm. They frame it this perfect way. They do the same thing covering up socialism on all sorts of issues. I mean, you look at the Green New Deal, which I refer to as watermelon policy, where it's green on the outside and it's red on the inside, because it's really just socialism. But they go back and they say, how could you possibly go against protecting the environment? Meanwhile, it's easier to build things in America that are cleaner and better than the Chinese that, conveniently these folks don't talk about. But that's how they continue to cover up their socialist goals, is by framing it in the most positive way possible.
That it's humane,
right.
And there's something wrong with you if you don't agree.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then hiding the fact that it makes people dependent, which is as inhumane as it gets.
But that is unfortunately whether it's SNAP or it's welfare assistance or it's housing assistance, I mean, that's what ends up happening in many of these instances. And sometimes you end up with these nonprofits that come in and you've got fraudulent activity, and next thing you know, you've got a corruption investigation.
Exactly.
Looking at you, New York City. Sorry, but and that's again another criticism when cities are already strapped.
Well,
and I'm sorry, but I don't think the fiscal house at Chicago is exactly solid right now.
Now, first off, let's deal with the facts, okay? Back in 2022, Cook County, which is home of Chicago, and 5 million souls, it kicked off a pilot called the Promise Guaranteed Income Program. They handed out unconditional $500 a month checks. No job hunts, no lectures, no prove you're not buying artisanal kale to 3,250 low to moderate income households for 2 years. all bankrolled by $42 million from that sweet, sweet American Rescue Plan Act cash. It wrapped up in December of 2024, and the early vibes, pretty solid. Recipients reported less stress, better budgeting for groceries and childcare, and zero zombie apocalypse from laziness. More on that myth in just a second. So fast forward to November 20th, 2025. The county board unanimously greenlights $7.5 million in the fiscal year of 2026 budget to make this thing permanent, okay? Not universal for every Joe Schmo, all right? I'm going to apologize now for the crypto bros dreaming of free yacht fuel, but targeted at low-income families getting hammered by inflation and federal budget haircuts. So the program details are still cooking, except you expect, okay, means testing, eligibility tweaks, and a rollout sometime mid to late 2026, I want to say, after the advisory committee stops arguing over pie charts. It's the first U.S. county to lock in ongoing funds for this, while Chicago's city version got axed last year to plug budget holes. So taxpayer dollars, yep, you bet, shifted from the general plot because why? Priorities. So, holy shizzles indeed. All right. On one hand, some are going to say kudos to Cook County for stepping up when DC is playing fiscal Jenga. Okay. Inflation is a beast. Yes, it is. Groceries are up 25% since 2020. Rent in Chicago is rivaling a Kardashian's grocery bill. And this is a direct screw you to poverty traps. Pilots like this, there's over 100 nationwide since 2018. It's showing that folks mostly spend it on necessities, not Fent-fueled moon bases. Work, doesn't crater. Some studies even see more employment because people are not scrambling for survival gigs. It's like giving your broke cousin a ladder instead of yelling at them to fly. But flipping the script here, and it's the 9 scariest words on steroids. Okay, so who's footing the bill? The working stiffs grinding 9 to 5s, while the county plays Santa Claus with our taxes. $7.5 million sounds like chump change in a $10 billion budget, but scaling it up, what happens when every county jumps on the bandwagon? We end up with a system where the government is your sugar daddy. No strings attached, morphs into strings of dependency. Okay, real quick. Critics like the Illinois Policy Institute are already howling. It risks lower earning, less work experience, and a slippery slope to full-blown UBI where everyone is getting a check but no one is building anything. And yeah, in a red meat economy, this feels like rewarding the pirates while the ship is sinking. It's also like that saying where everybody gets a trophy type thing, okay? Truth-seeking middle ground here, it's a Band-Aid on a chainsaw wound, okay? Fixes symptoms like hunger and evictions, but it ignores the root rot. Crappy wages, housing shortages, job automation, turning us all into gig economy gremlins. if we are taxing workers to fund this, let's pair it with real reforms here. Tax the megacorps hoarding the cash / bureaucracy bloat. Or, here's a wild idea, make trade schools free so folks can climb out, not camp in. Okay. Otherwise, it's just government eggnog. Warm and fuzzy at your first sip, but you'll regret it in the morning. So it's your move, America. Okay. I filmed my rant. I told you the facts. I gave you my opinion. Okay. Leave your comments. I'll be reading every single one of them with popcorn and pitchforks. So what's your hottest take? Lifesaver or taxpayer heist? Your opinion. It matters. All right. I will see you guys in the next one. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fear less and God bless. Ciao.